Hey, what's up, everyone? Kino here, back with another reaction to the Penguin series. Just watched the second episode. I thought that it was going to come out every Thursday because the first episode came out on a Thursday, but no, it comes out on Sundays, which means there was actually an extra long gap. It was more than a week from the last episode, which was a little annoying, but whatever. It's out now. And the second episode, Inside Man, I thought was still pretty good. Very much a continuation of the first episode, with Oswald plotting his undermining of the family. He's pitting the Maronis against the Falcone family, and he has this whole plan in this episode to frame the underboss of the family, Johnny Vitti, for the murder of Alberto. But unfortunately, his henchman Victor screws up, and so he has to kind of very quickly adapt. And you think he's gonna pin it on Vitti still, but he changes it up. He pins it on Sophia's bodyguard, who he's been around. We haven't really interacted with him. We don't know anything about him, but um, this convinces everyone that he was the traitor. And then at the end of the episode, Sophia asks Oz to work with her to take over the family. So he's right where he wants to be. He's in the center of things. He's manipulating all the families against each other. And it was a solid episode. There's only one problem I had with it, which was, so they're doing this thing with Sophia where she's out of Arkham, and everyone still thinks she's crazy, and they're obviously um, dealing with her kind of psychological trauma from all the stuff that happened in Arkham and outside. And she hates that everyone's looking at her like she's crazy. Um, there's a scene where uh, I guess it's her cousin Carla, which I wondered if she was the daughter of Luca, the uncle who took over the family. I don't know if that's the case or not, but um, she at the funeral she runs into this cousin she used to interact with when they were children, and the cousin's like, "Oh, I miss you so much. How have you been? Blah blah blah. We should go to Italy together on a girls' trip." And she's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be good." And then Carla's daughter comes up, and Sophia tries to like introduce herself, and the mother like pulls her away from Sophia, and I was like, that's weird because you were the one who came up to her. It's not like it'd be one thing if Sophia came up to her and was like, "Hey, cousin, blah blah blah," and then she was kind of pretending to be nice. But she approached Sophia and was like, "Let's go on a girls' trip to Italy." So I was like, if you're not comfortable, if you think she's crazy still, why were you the one approaching her? Why were you kind of reaching out to her? It doesn't play right. It's like either she's scared of Sophia or she's not, and they kind of played it both ways in that scene. I thought that was a little weak, um, but that's the only one small flaw I thought about this episode. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say. It was a good episode. It was solidly entertaining. I like to see all the stuff going on with Oz. Um, we'll see what's going to go on with the mother. I don't know how important this is going to be to the series. Again, it reminds me so much of The Sopranos. It reminds me a lot of Livia. Um, you know, Oz trying to be a good son, and you can tell she's a little like she has dementia, so that's one thing. But like you can tell she's also a little like negative. Like she's like, if my son's a nobody, what does that make me? Like she's it's not really a Lady Macbeth type role because she's not his wife, but that kind of nagging voice that's kind of pushing him to do certain bad stuff. So it's an interesting character dynamic. Again, obviously ripping off The Sopranos, but I'm wondering where they'll go with it, like how much they're gonna commit to this being like a central part of his character. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, overall, I don't have much to say. It was solid, very much enjoyable. Um, And yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. I know they're not going to tie into Batman at all. Like they said, Robert Pattinson is not going to be in this show. I think that makes sense. The one thing I kind of wondered was like, do they not like fear Batman? No one's talking. I don't think they've mentioned Batman in this show. They might have offhandedly mentioned it. I don't remember, but like they're worried about like other gangsters and stuff, and to a much lesser extent the police. But no one's talking about like, hey, is Batman gonna try to come stop us? And that's was it. I'm trying to remember the Batman movie because it's been a long time since I watched it. Like he's investigating the murders, like the Riddler stuff. But doesn't Batman also go after like organized crime and drug dealers and stuff? I don't know if that's true. In the Nolan verse, he's definitely going after the mob. He goes after Falcone. Um, but I don't know in this one, like, is if Batman's like a threat to the mafia. But and again, I know it's early on in Batman's career, so they might not be like, really terrified of him. But I don't know. I would have liked to kind of see how these criminal organizations deal with like a superhero, a vigilante being like, oh, not only do we have to worry about the Maronis, but we also got to worry about the Batman coming down on us. It would have been cool to see their like crime from their perspective, because in the Batman stuff we always see it from Batman's perspective. But it would have been like how the Joker talks to all the gang members in the Dark Knight, and he's like, I know why you're afraid to go out at night, type stuff. So I don't know, that's one. I don't know if they'll get into that more in future episodes, but who knows. And again, I understand it's kind of early in Batman's career in this universe, so maybe that'll happen more in the Batman Part 2, which we don't know anything about that movie coming out yet, but we know Oz is going to be in it, so Penguin's probably not going to die in this series, if anyone was wondering that. But either way, that's pretty much all I have to say for this episode. Very good. Go watch it. I will talk to you guys next week when the next episode comes out, so see y'all then.